So today we will start a new topic, linked list. Okay. So before we start linked list, so let us look at some characteristics of an array. Okay. So what are the simple characteristics which are found in an array? The first thing is that array elements can be accessed by indices. Okay, or the index which is used to access the array elements. This is the first characteristics, and the second characteristics is that to access any element in the array will take constant time. Okay, so these characteristics are very common characteristics for an array, and the arrangement of elements in the array are found to be sequential. That means the sequential representation is used to arrange the elements in the array. So these are the simple characteristics of an array. Now there are some severe limitations or severe disadvantages of an array. So what are the disadvantages? The first disadvantage is that the size of an array, so which is to be defined when the program is been written. Okay, and its space is reserved during compilation of the program. So we know all these things that when the when we write a program, we need to define the size of the array, and this the corresponding spaces, the size of the array. So same space which is equal to the size of the array is to be reserved during compilation of the program. Okay, so during compilation of the program, it may happen that the actual size is found to be less than that of the defined size. Okay, so this may happen. So actual size is given for an array. Okay, now so when we work with, or when we execute with a very small number of elements, then uh, good amount of space will be wasted. So this is called the underflow of the array. So an opposite phenomenon could also happen. So what is the opposite phenomenon? So we have defined the size of the array. Now while execution with large number of elements, then we need the array size to be a array size to be a array size to be an extended, so that the large number of elements can be accommodated by that array. Okay, so this phenomenon is called the overflow. So one is the underflow, another is the overflow. This is the first disadvantage, or first severe disadvantage of an array. What is the second disadvantage? The second disadvantage is that, so during insertion operation in an array, the elements after the inserted element have to be shifted one position to the right. So all you know that when we insert a new element in the array, the elements after the inserted element have to be shifted one position to the right. So similarly, during deletion, all elements to the right of the deleted elements have to be shifted to the left. Okay, now if the individual elements of an array are huge records, okay, then such shifting will actually become prohibitively time consuming. That means if we consider that individual elements are a huge records, okay, then such shifting will take more time. So that means the process will be more time consuming. So this is the second disadvantage of an array. And array elements are stored, we all know that array elements are stored in contiguous memory locations. So haphazardly the elements are not stored in the memory locations. So all the array elements are stored in contiguous memory location. That is why it is called the array elements are represented in sequentially. Okay, so array elements are represented sequentially. So as uh, as the elements are stored in contiguous memory locations, so we cannot haphazardly store the array elements in the memory locations. Okay, so these three are the prominent disadvantages of an array. Now, to overcome these limitations or the disadvantages, so we need to find some link representation of elements. That means if we represent a list using link representation or linked list, then we could find the solutions of these limitations or of these disadvantages that we face in an array. Now, what is link representation? So here we can see that there are four elements, 10, minus 5, 0, and 99. So these four elements can be represented by link representation. Now in link representation, each element of a list is stored in a node. Okay. So here we can see that the rectangular form, some pictorial representation here for four elements. So this pictorial representation for four elements are called the link representation. So in link representation, each element of a list is stored in a node, where a node contains two pieces of information. Okay. So what are the two pieces of information? The first part of the node is the data item. So here we can see that the 10, minus 5, 0, and 99. So this this is called the information part or the data part. So the first part of the node is the data item of the element of the list. Okay. So the first part is called the data part or information part. Okay. And the second part of the node is called the link reference. That means this link reference to the node will be holding the next element of the ordered list. So if we consider the link reference of the first node, so that is holding the element 10, then this node will have a link reference that will point to the next node. So next node is containing minus 5, and third node is containing 0, fourth node is containing 99. Okay. And the entire link representation is identified by a pointer p. Okay. So the pointer which points to the first node is used to identify the entire link representation or entire link list, and each node is connected with the next node by the link reference. Okay. So link reference of the previous node will point to the next node, then the link reference of the next node will point to the next node. So in this way, so here we can see that the link reference of 10 is pointing to the next node which containing minus 5. Then the link reference of the node which containing minus 5 points to the next node which containing 0, and the link reference of the node which is containing 0 point to the next node which containing 99. Okay. And the link reference of the last node will be found to be some default value. That means when this default value will be encountered, that means the this is the termination of the link representation, or this is the termination of the link list. Okay. So here the entire link representation or the entire link list will be pointed to by the pointer which will point to the first node. Okay. And when the link will be terminated, so when the link will be terminated, the link reference will not be pointing to any other node. Now these nodes in the memory location will not be found in sequential arrangement. Okay. That means sequentially this node will not be stored in the memory location. So we need to when we represent uh, each node, then we need to define a structure. So that is called the self-referential structure, and that self-referential structure will have two members. So one member, the first member, will be responsible to store the data item or the information, and the second part will be responsible to holding the link reference or the pointer which will point to the next node. Okay. Now, as we know that array encounters with overflow or underflow problem, and since the array has to be defined while we write a program. So this fixed size problem or the overflow problem can be overcome by the linked representation. Okay. Now for linked representations, programming languages will provide some facilities. So what are the facilities? The facilities like acquiring memory for storage during runtime. Okay. And dividing the memory into two parts like data and link part. And then and the final facility or the final representation is to be freeing memory during execution of the program once need for the acquired memory is over. Okay. So how we can acquire the memory for storage during runtime? So if we want to have the memory during runtime, then we need to acquire the memory. Okay. How memory acquisition is done? How we can acquire the memory during runtime? So which function we can use in C programming language to
Calloc
acquire
and
yes, yes,
Calloc and Malloc, I guess.
yes, calloc and malloc we can use to acquire the memory during runtime. Okay. Now to divide the memory into two parts like data part and link part, so we can use the self-referential structure. That means we need to define a structure which is essentially a self-reference. Okay. And that structure will contain two members. So one members for the first member is for the data part or the information part, and the second member will be responsible to hold the link reference or the link part. Okay. And how to free the memory during execution when the execution will be done. So after execution, how the acquired memory will be free. To acquire the memory, we can use malloc or calloc function in C programming language. Okay. And to free the memory after execution of the program, so which function can be used?
So for C++, I know we use flush, but
And C,
for C, I don't know.
free. Have you heard about free function?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that free function can be used to free the memory after execution of the program. That means once the need for the acquired memory will be over, then we can free the memory which was acquired for the program. Okay, or for the execution. Now, how a self-referential structure will look like? Okay, so as I said that linked representations will contain a collection of nodes. Okay, and the nodes will be interlinked with each other. So a node can be declared in C using a self-referential structure. Okay, so now we can assume that the type of the data to be stored in each node is a predefined data type data. So we can assume that the data type of the data part or the information part will be data. Okay. Then the declaration of a node in a simple linked list will be as follows. So here we can define the self-referential structure node. So node is called the self-referential structure. So that node can be defined by the type def. Okay. So here we use the keyword type def to define a self-referential structure node. So which will contain the uh, two members. One is the item, another is the next pointer or the link reference. Okay. So item will be type of data, and next pointer will be type of node. So second member is declared as struct node pointer next. Okay. And after the end of the second bracket, we write a variable, node variable, and this node variable is a structure variable of type node. So here we can see that the name of the structure and the variable of the structure both are same. Okay, that is why it is sometimes it is called the self-referential structure. Okay, in the self-reference structure you will find the name of the structure and the variable structure variable both will be same. Okay, now how to create a linked list? Let us see an illustration. If we want to create a linked list or the linked representation of n number of elements, then how it will be created? Suppose we want to create a linked list or a linked representation of 4 elements, and elements will be 10, -5, 0, 99. Okay, so first the first node which will contain the element 10 will be created. Okay, and when we will create, we will allocate a memory, we will allocate a space in the memory locations. Okay, so that can be acquired by the malloc function. So when the when the memory location, when the space for the first node will be created, then that will be pointed to by pointer p. Okay, so initially the first node will be pointed to by p, and after creating the node we will assign the element 10 to the data part of the node, and we will make p next equals to null. That means the first node has been created, then the data part of the node has been assigned the element 10, integer element 10, and after that we make the p next equals to null. P next equals to null means the link reference of the first node which is pointed to by p will now will be making null. Okay, that means first node has been created, and first node has been pointed to by pointer p, and data part has been assigned by integer element 10, and we have made the p next equals to null. And another pointer we are using, that is called q, and we are making q equals to p. So when we will make q equals to p, that means the same node which has been created will also be pointed to by q. Now the same node is pointed to by two pointers p and q, and then we will use a for loop, and when we after using the for loop, when we create the first remaining nodes, so remaining nodes are, so remaining nodes will be containing -5, 0, and 99. So 10, the first node which is containing 10 has been created. Now the second node which will contain the -5 will be created. When this node will be created, so that node will be pointed to by r pointer, another pointer r. Okay, and now we have to connect the link reference of the first node uh, uh, that will point to the second node which has been created. Okay, and the second node is pointed to by r. Now how we will connect this? What we need to update, or which link reference we need to update, so that we can point the link reference of the first node to the second node or the next node. The second node which is containing -5 has been created, and it is pointed to by another pointer r. Now we have to connect the link reference of the first node to the second node. That means we have to update the link part of the first node, so that it will point, the link reference will point to the second node. How it is done? Any idea? So what we will do now, we will make q next What is Q next? So Q next refer to the link reference of the first node. Okay, so Q next will set to R. That means we will make Q next equals to R. And when we will write Q next equals to R, that means the link reference of the first node will now point to the second node. Okay. So here in the third illustration or the third image, here you can see that the Q node, the link reference of the first node is now set to the second node. Okay, and then we update the link, then we are making Q equals to R. So after making Q next equals to R, now we are making Q equals to R. Okay, so when we will make Q equals to R, that means the second node will now be pointed to by both R and Q. Initially Q was pointing to first node, so both P and Q was pointing to first node. So after advance the pointer Q for the second node, and by making Q next equals to R, then Q equals to R. Now second node will be pointed to by both R and Q pointers. Okay, and at the same time we made a link between first node and the second node. Okay, now we will create another node which will be containing the element 0. Okay, so after creating the third node, the same process, the same step we will follow. That means we will make Q next equals to R. Okay, and R will be always point to the current node which has been created. Okay, and after making Q next equals to R, then we will make Q equals to R, so that the uh, current node which has just been created will be pointed to by both R and Q pointers. Okay, and similarly we will create the fourth node or the final node in the link representation. And after creating the fourth node, we will make Q next equals to R and Q equals to R, so that the last node will also be pointed to by both R and Q pointers. Okay, so after creating the last node, now we will make Q next equals to none. Okay, so here we are creating a linked list of four nodes. So first we define the self-referential structure in node. So in node will contain two members. One is the element, another is the next pointer. So initially we need to define the self-referential structure. Then we will write the function definition. So name of the function is create. So and this function will return a pointer which will be type of in node. That means the self-referential structure type. That is why we put the asterisk as a pointer with create function. That means this asterisk is associated with the create function. So this asterisk means the function create will return a pointer which will be type of in node self-referential structure. Okay, that is why we put that is why we consider the function as a function as a pointer. So the asterisk notation for the pointer is associated with the create function. Okay, and here int n means n number of nodes will be there in the link list. So let us define this function. To define this function, we need three pointer. We are using three pointers P, Q, and R, which will be type of in node, that is self-referential structure, and we are taking an index I, which will be type of integer, and then we are writing P equals to in node, then malloc and size of in node. Okay, so this function definition will create a node. That means this function will allocate a space in the memory. Okay, and that to be pointed to by P. That means we are creating a self-referential we are allocating a space in the memory, which will be containing two elements, element and link reference. Okay, and this memory space will be pointed to by P. That means this P will contain the address of this memory location, and then we are reading the element which is to be stored in the data part of the node, which is pointed to by P. Okay, so scanf %d here and ampersand P, then we write arrow element. Okay, so here P arrow element means ampersand P arrow element means we are reading the integer element which is to be stored in the data part of the node. Okay, then we are making P next equals to null. So once the node is created, then we will make the link reference equals to null, so that the link reference will not point to any other node, since this is the first node and the first node has been created. That is why we are making p next equals to null. Okay, then we are making q equals to p. Q equals to p means here q is another point. Okay, and p is the pointer which will point to the first node which has been created. Okay, now we are making q equals to p. Making q equals to p means now the first node which has been created will be pointed to by both p and q pointers. Okay, now we will go for the remaining nodes, and the remaining nodes will be created by using this for loop. So here we are writing for I equals to 0, I less than n minus 1, and I plus plus. So this for loop will be responsible to create the remaining nodes. Okay, so we are writing r equals to in node malloc size of end node, and this function will allocate the spaces in the memory, and spaces in the memory for the second node. Okay, and the second node will be pointed to by pointer r. Then similarly, we will read the integer element which is to be stored in the data part of the second node, and then we will make unnext equals to null. So here we are making unnext equals to null. First node has been created. We made p next equals to null. After that, the second node is created. We are making unnext equals to null. That means the next link part of the second node will also be found to be null. Okay, that means the link part or the link reference will not be point to any other node. That is why we are making it null. So after making, now we have two independent nodes that have been created. One is pointed to by p, another is pointed to by r. Now the first node is also pointed to by q. Now we are making q next equals to r. When we will make q next equals to r, that means the q link part or the link reference of the first node will point to the second node. Okay, and here we are updating the q pointer which will point to the first node, which is point to the first node. Now we will point to the second node. Okay, that means we are we are advancing the q pointer for the second node, so that it will point to the second node after creating the second node. Okay, so we are making q equals to r, then we are returning p. So so after creating the remaining nodes until n minus 2, then we will return the p. So here we need to return p because p is the pointer which will point to the first node, as well as the as well as the entire linked list will be identified by this head pointer p. Okay, head pointer is also point to the first node, and this p should be returned. And when this p will be returned, that means that this function will return a pointer which will be type of end node. That is why we associate the asterisk with the function name create. Okay, any questions from here?
No, sir.
So everything is understood by you? Any doubt? If you have any doubt, you can ask me question. Otherwise, I will stop today because you have class now. And I just want to ask Pranav that what about the schedule?
Sir, you can take for group one, you can take it on Tuesday.
No, alternative week, I will conduct the lab. That means uh, it would be good if I take the uh, lab of the three groups in three different weeks. Okay, so that uh, I can get at least 2 hours. Okay, so that means if the first group lab of the first group will be conducted in this week, then in the second group the same in the second week the next group will be doing the assignment. Okay.
So you can take it on Tuesday because Tuesday second half we are comfortable in the second half. Or
No problem.
if you want to take it on other days, you can take it on Thursday also because on Thursday we don't have a class from 1:30 to 3. So you get an ample amount of 90 minutes time or more extended.
Then you do one thing. You arrange the schedule. I mean, according to the group name. So group A, group B, group C. So if
So
the group if
all
this
three
week, yes,
all the three groups will do it in different weeks, like or alternate weeks.
alternate week.
Like group one or two will do this week, then three will do next week, and then group one and two. This in this
Yes,
manner.
yes. So accordingly, I want the schedule. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So make a schedule. Okay, in alternate according to the alternative week, and then we can start the lab classes from next week.
Okay.
Okay, and the time of the lab class, the duration will be 2 hours. Okay,
Okay.
instead of 90 minutes, 120 minutes will be okay. Since we will be conducting lab in alternative weeks, so that we will get the maximum time.
Okay.
Okay, that's all for today.